And good afternoon and happy Friday and welcome to Next News. I am your host for the next hour. We're going to talk some local news, some global news. We're going to talk entertainment and a whole bunch more. So stick with me for the whole hour and we'll just have some good old fashioned conversation about some news of things that are going on in the world. We're going to start with global news. Supreme Court cancels oral arguments in Russia probe. Today, the Supreme Court canceled oral arguments next month in the Russia hacking and meddling in the 2016 presidential election. The case was scheduled to be heard December 2nd. Congress wants to see the information in Special Counsel Robert Mueller's report. The House of Representatives Judiciary Committee, which is Democratic-led, asked for the postponement, given that the new Congress will convene in January 2021 and the 46th President, Joe Biden, will be sworn in on January 20th. However, the new committee will have to determine if they wish to proceed with the probe or drop the case entirely. In 2019, the Judiciary Committee subpoenaed materials related to the Mueller report, but the Justice Department withheld the papers. So the question remains is, will the Supreme Court make a ruling on this? It remains to be seen. I hope they do, because that's pretty serious. And they've been hiding and stalling forever. Another COVID case in the White House. Today, Andrew Giuliani, son of President Trump's personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, has tested positive for COVID-19. The younger Giuliani joined Trump's staff in 2017 as the White House Office of Public Liaison and Intergovernmental Affairs. He announced in social media that he is experiencing mild symptoms. He is in quarantine and performing contact tracing. Father and son, Giuliani, were at the press conference Thursday at the Republican National Committee headquarters in D.C. Many speakers at the conference spoke without a mask and shared a microphone. But Andrew was not one of the speakers. For the past several weeks, many of the White House staff have tested positive, including Chief of Staff Mark Meadows. 6 members in Congress have tested positive. And if you remember, so did the president. Tested positive. So, I find it so interesting that he can tweet about the election and keep saying, we won, I won, we won, but he says nothing about the 250,000 people that have died from the COVID virus, nor the new cases. And people are still dying, and he's not said one syllable about it. So, I don't know. I'm just glad 46 is coming in. The UN chief says Yemen is in imminent danger of famine, warns against unilateral moves. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres said on Friday that war-torn Yemen is in imminent danger of the worst famine the world has seen in decades, warning against any unilateral moves as the United States threatens to blacklist Yemen's Iran-allied Houthi group. I hope I pronounced that correct. Aid workers have raised fears that if Washington designates the Houthis a foreign terrorist organization, or FTO, it could prevent life-saving aid reaching the country. In this very fragile situation in relation to famine and in this hopeful moment in relation to conversations, we believe that any unilateral initiative will probably be positive. I don't think we should rock the boat at the present moment, Gutierrez told reporters. A Saudi Arabia-led military coalition intervened in Yemen in 2015, backing government forces fighting the Houthi group. UN officials are trying to revive peace talks to end the war as the country is suffering and is worse. The country's suffering is also worsened by the economic and currency collapse and, of course, the COVID-19 pandemic. In the absence of immediate action, millions of lives may be lost, Gutierrez said in a statement. The United Nations describes Yemen as the world's largest humanitarian crisis, with 80% of its population in need of help. That is some kind of seriousness right there. I mean, a famine. Wow. Oil prices. Okay, I'm sorry, my computer just didn't do what I asked it to do. Oil rises about 1% post third week of gains on vaccine hopes. Oil prices rose about 1% higher on Friday and posted a third consecutive weekly rise, buoyed by successful COVID-19 vaccine trials, while renewed lockdowns in several countries to limit the spread of the coronavirus capped gains. Brent crude futures rose 76 cents or 1.7% to settle the $44.96 a barrel. The more active U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude contract gained 52 cents, and WTI contract for December, which expired on Friday, settled at $42.15 a barrel. So, people are happy when gas prices go up and some are not. So we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. You're listening to Next News on Next 100 and Next 105.
Powered by IBNXRadioNetwork.com.
Station I listen to 24/7.
ATL's Next 100. Next 100.
Don't get it twisted.
Next 100.
Stand up, get it pop right now.
Atlanta's home for hip hop and R&B.
Number one station for hip hop and R&B.
You know what the deal is.
ATL's Next 100.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl Jada. Make sure you tune in and check out our new show, Next Now, weekdays 12 to 2 on ATL's Next 100. Our community, our station.
And welcome back. I am Enrika, your host for Next News for the next hour. And now we're going to get into some local news. Stern warning from the Secretary of State. Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger gave a stern warning to people moving to Georgia just to vote in the January runoff elections. He said, "Make no mistake about it, I will seek to prosecute those who try to undermine our elections to the fullest extent of the law. The integrity of our elections is paramount. Outside groups who seek to interfere with democracy in Georgia should be forewarned that the consequences will be severe." 2 Senate seats are up for grabs. Both are held by Republicans, David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler. Democrats, John Ossoff and Reverend Raphael Warnock, have been campaigning together to win the seats in the Senate. Georgia law says registrants must be permanent residents of the state and county where he or she intends to vote. Anyone with the intention of leaving the state after an election is in violation. False registration is a felony and can be punished by 1 to 10 years in prison and or up to $100,000 fine. Also a charge of felony racketeering, which is punishable by 5 to 20 years and a fine of up to $25,000 per count. It's that serious, folks. More uncounted ballots found. Monday, the Secretary of State office announced that 2,600 ballots were not counted in Floyd County. Gabriel Sterling, an election official, said the ballots were not scanned properly and that most of the ballots were for President Donald Trump. Sterling went on to say that the uncounted ballots will not change the election results and that this is a human error. AU Center will open its doors in 2021. Morehouse, Spelman, and Clark Atlanta University will open their campus to limited in-person classes beginning spring 2021. The universities have altered their academic calendar for 2021 in response to the COVID pandemic. The change allows a mini spring break from March 31st to April 2nd and not the traditional whole week. The semester will end May 7th. Morehouse will allow up to 1,200 freshmen and upperclassmen and limited staff and faculty, and there will be a hybrid academic program as well as online courses. Clark Atlanta will allow first-time freshmen, new transfers, seniors graduating in May of 2021, and selected athletes. Spelman plans a capacity of 30% of students and staff, and 350 students will be allowed back in the resident halls. First-year students, seniors, and student leaders will get first priority for campus housing. All schools will test the students, faculty, and staff for the virus weekly and also require everyone to wear a mask and practice social distancing. But there's some good news in the AU. Morris Brown College has received its accreditation. In an announcement last week, President Dr. Kevin James said Morris Brown College will be fully accredited as early as April 2021. The Transnational Association of Christian Colleges has approved Morris Brown's application for accreditation, but the school will have a final evaluation in January 2021. If the review is successful, the small HBCU can offer financial aid for its students, and degrees will be accepted at other institutions. You may remember in 2002, Morris Brown lost its accreditation from the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools due to financial mismanagement. In a virtual homecoming this year, the school raised $500,000 toward the application. So if you would like to help Morris Brown reopen its doors, you can go to Cash App, that's $Restore Morris Brown, or go to their website at morrisbrown.edu/give. Some exciting news: free meal for Thanksgiving. Walmart has teamed up with Butterball, Campbell's, Coca-Cola, and the rewards platform Ibotta to give free Thanksgiving dinner this year. The meal includes Campbell's cream of mushroom soup, 2 liters of Coca-Cola, 3-pound turkey roast, or $9.98 cash back on Butterball whole turkey, Idaho mashed potatoes, great value stuffing, cranberry sauce, and frozen green beans. All you have to do is download the Ibotta app, click free Thanksgiving dinner, and shop at any Walmart for the items listed. Scan your receipt into the Ibotta app and you will earn cash back for the items, which is roughly $20.27. Ibotta did a survey and found that a third of the Americans were not having the big meal for Thanksgiving, of course, due to budget constraints. Their response is to offer a free meal without the financial burden. You have until Thanksgiving Day to take advantage of the offer. And we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. You're listening to Next News on Next 100 and Next 105. And we are back. You are listening to Next News, and I'm your host, Enrika Hardeman. Thank you for hanging with me. A little entertainment news for you. After 22 years, they are back and zanier than ever. All new episodes of Animaniacs are now streaming on Hulu. Never really been an Animaniacs fan, but they are on Hulu. And why not? Why not? Everything else is coming back, so why not? Oh gosh, I'm sorry guys. My computer is it's just so not cooperating with me sometimes. I'm so sorry guys. The more entertainment news, we're sending prayers up to Sinbad. I shouldn't say Mr. Sinbad. His name is Sinbad, the comedian. He suffered a stroke. His family confirmed to the Associated Press on Monday. Sinbad is known for his many stand-up comedy shows, and my favorite is Afros and Bell Bottoms. He also appeared in the sitcom A Different World and several films, so the 64-year-old definitely needs your prayers as he recovers from a stroke. And another I'm sorry, my computer, guys, out of all the days and out of all the times, it waits till I'm live on the air to not do what I wanted to do. It was working fine before I got on air. Now it just won't participate with me, won't cooperate with me. Please give me just a second. So another Versus went down last night. It was seen by 1.8 million people. It was an Atlanta thing. It was Jeezy against Gucci Mane. From what I can tell, Jeezy won the battle. Thankfully, there was no altercation to speak of. But the coolest move was a video appearance of Stacey Abrams. She has become a bit of a darling of Atlanta and politics, and she does plan to run again in 2 years, I think. In 2 more years, she's going to run for governor again. And we want to wish a happy birthday to Navadius Wilburn, aka Future. He turns 37 today. Did I say his name right, Johnny? Alrighty. So let's get into a little bit of traffic, guys. There is a broken down vehicle at 285 and La Vista Road, and you're about down to 12 miles per hour. So pack your patience over there as you travel through. Another broken down vehicle at 285 and Atlanta Road. I think it looks like that might be pushed over to the side, and you may have the green light, and traffic may be back to normal. In the north at 285 West, you're down to, and near the Glenwood connector, you're down to 11 miles per hour. At the ramp to 285, you're down to 37 miles per hour. If we want to go into the inside of the perimeter, for let's see, 75 North at Pine Street, you're down to 37 miles an hour. The ramp from, 75 South at William Street, you're at 18 miles per hour. In Cortland, you're at 18 miles per hour. And Freedom Parkway, you're down at 19 miles per hour. There's no accidents or anything reported, guys, so it just looked like it's just good old Friday volume. Over on the south side, 285 Southwest Perimeter, Cascade, you're down to 15 miles per hour. And the ramp from 166, you're at 28 miles per hour. So we're going to take a look at weather. We're going to look at nationally. Miami is partly cloudy, but they're at 78 degrees. Tampa is partly cloudy, also at 80 degrees. Atlanta, it is sunshiny, but it is 68 degrees. It was a little cool this morning too. A little further north, Charlotte is sitting at 69 degrees. Buffalo, it's windy there, and they're at 58 degrees. Let's go out west a little bit. Oklahoma is partly cloudy at 75 degrees. And Seattle is cloudy at 51 degrees. San Francisco is all sunshiny at 60 degrees. Los Angeles at 75 degrees, and they're partly cloudy. And it is all sunshine in Phoenix, and they're at 87 degrees. Give me just another break, guys, and we'll be back with more Next News on Next 100 and Next 105.
What's poppin', family? It's your homegirl, Terrence Simone.
Latoria G.
And Miss Caprice.
We're here to tell you about our hot new show, Next Now, Weekend Edition.
With segments like Giving You the Business and Woo Child.
Tune in every Saturday and Sundays, 10 to 12 on Atlanta's Next 100. Right here on IBNX Radio Network.
Our community, our station.
And welcome back. I am Enrika, and you're listening to Next News on Next 100 and Next 105. Some more news for you. Biden transition team forced to build its own cybersecurity protection. How about that, guys? President-elect Joe Biden is preparing to take over from President Donald Trump, but his transition team isn't getting the level of cybersecurity support usually provided by outgoing administrations. According to the Wall Street Journal, that could mean Biden's team is more vulnerable to cyber attacks than if it had full support and resources of the federal government. Typically, a departing administration would help the transition team with things like setting up government email accounts and making sure those accounts are protected, reports the Wall Street Journal. But the Trump administration has stopped federal agencies from providing that support, leaving the Biden transition team to take care of its own cybersecurity. The team uses a paid Google Workspace network, though all accounts are enrolled in both Google Advanced Protection Program and Google's Enhanced Protection Program. The transition team tells The Verge all staffers are required to use physical security keys to log in to accounts, which can improve security information, improve security, Information is stored on shared drives with restricted access, and staffers have been briefed on security best practices. We are preparing to govern during a global pandemic and an economic recession, all while working remotely, a transition official said in a statement. From the outset of the transition, we have invested in best-in-class IT systems and processes. A White House spokesman said the Trump administration is following all statutory requirements, but did not specify what those requirements were. While the presidential election was widely called for Joe Biden on November 7th, Trump still has not conceded, and his administration just isn't blocking cybersecurity transition efforts. It's all holding up federal planning for COVID-19 vaccine, an effort that has taken on increased urgency after promising results from vaccine candidates developed by Pfizer, BioNTech, and Moderna. That is sad news because we're going to have to, we're going to need that transition to happen. I'm just saying. But whatever happens, January 20th, you're going to have to get out. So let's just go ahead on and make sure we understand that. Are you going to go to D.C., Johnny?
No.
Neither am I. I'm actually afraid of COVID, so I'm not going to go either. But I will hopefully get a chance to watch it all on television, as I did with President Obama. I took off for President Obama's first for his inauguration the first time, and I sat there and watched it. I didn't even want to use the bathroom. I didn't want to miss anything because I wanted to see everything that was going to happen with President Obama. So, I won't be such a groupie this time, but I do want to see what happens with them. The MacBook Air is once again the benchmark by which other laptops will be measured. How about that? Last week, Apple seemed astonishingly confident in its new M1-based Macs. This week, we know why. They are astonishingly good. I reviewed the MacBook Air. Nilay Patel reviewed the entry-level 13-inch MacBook Pro, and Chris Welch reviewed the new Mac Mini. All three are equally impressive, but it's the Air in particular that stands out as offering incredible power at its price point. I'm also impressed with battery life and the fact that Apple's Rosetta 2 translation layer doesn't cause slowdown or bugs for legacy apps. Wins all around, then. Not very often that happens to consumer tech. The webcams are still terrible, and there are lots of questions about what will happen with the truly Pro Max we will start seeing in the next couple of years. But rather than constantly look ahead to the next thing, just for a moment, enjoy. A tech company made a big promise that it could do a hard thing and then did that thing. So, do you have a MacBook?
Yes, I do.
Do you like it?
I like it.
Is it better than like a laptop or?
Yes.
Really?
It's the same, but a MacBook is more easier to use.
What's easier about it? Yeah, I don't have one.
It's smaller. It's more compact. It's connected to my phone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I can use my phone. If my phone dies, I can use my laptop. My laptop dies, I can use my phone. Got all my pictures and stuff on it.
So you can make a phone call with the MacBook.
I can FaceTime my mom right now.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
That's deep. So how big is it? Like
13 inches. It's not that big.
So it's like
you can
bigger than your hand, like bigger than your hand. Okay. So it's really like a small laptop.
Yeah,
really.
They have bigger ones, but I don't believe in them.
Okay, so here's the question I have. So why have a laptop and that? And the
I think because some things are more compatible. More things are more compatible with MacBooks, and some things are more compatible with just a regular old laptop.
So, but it'd be better to get the MacBook then, is what you're saying?
If you want one.
then the laptop. No, I'm just trying to understand.
Yeah,
I'm not a tech person. So you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if I'm going to the store because I need a portable computer, would I get a MacBook or should I get a laptop?
Laptop. If you're not a big tech person, just get a basic laptop. Cause it's not like it's the same, but it's not different. It's just this is like a phone. You can use this as a phone as well.
Okay. So for somebody like you who is a transplant,
Yes.
that would be really good because
MacBook.
like you said,
Yeah.
you could FaceTime, you can use it as a phone, your pictures on there.
Yes.
Okay. I get that. That's what's up. Thank you. You educated me on some things because I don't know. I just go in straight for what I want and I move along. Something different. 20 health tips for 2020. This is from WHO, the World Health Organization, and these are 20 health tips for 2020. First, they say eat a healthy diet. Now, we're in quarantine, and the amount of potato chips and cookies that I saw my friends buy on social media, so yeah, let's listen to number one. The World Health Organization says eat a combination of different foods, including fruit, vegetables, legumes, nuts, and whole grains. Adults should eat at least 5 portions or 400 grams of fruit and vegetables per day. You can improve your intake of fruits and vegetables by always including veggies in your meal, eating fresh fruit and vegetables as snacks, eating a variety of fruits and vegetables, and eating them in season. By eating healthy, you will reduce your risk of malnutrition and non-communicable diseases such as diabetes, heart disease, stroke, and cancer. I'm actually very, very big on eating food that's seasonal. Like watermelon is not in season in November. I'm not eating it. I'm not buying it. Don't bring it to me. I don't care how sweet it is. I'm not eating it. It's a summer fruit. I'm not eating it. So I actually agree with that. Number 2, consume less salt and sugar. That's a struggle for me. Filipinos consume twice the recommended amount of sodium, putting them at risk of high blood pressure, which in turn increases the risk of heart disease and stroke. Most people get their sodium through salt. Reduce your salt intake to 5 grams per day, equivalent to about 1 teaspoon. It's easier to do this by limiting the amount of salt, soy sauce, fish sauce, and other high sodium condiments when preparing meals. Removing salt, seasonings, and condiments from your meal table, avoiding salty snacks, and choosing low sodium products. On the other hand, consuming excessive amount of sugars increases the risk of tooth decay and unhealthy weight gain, which is my problem. In both adults and children, the intake of free sugars should be reduced to less than 10% of total energy intake. This is equivalent to 50 grams or about 12 teaspoons for an adult. WHO recommends consuming less than 5% of total energy intake for additional healthy benefits. You can reduce your sugar intake by limiting the consumption of sugary snacks, candies, and sugar-sweetened beverages. I have an issue with sodas. You can judge me if you want. I don't even care. I love sodas. My favorite is Dr. Pepper, then Cherry Coke, and then a Coca-Cola. So it's all the dark sodas that I hear is really bad for you. No Sprites. I don't want a Sprite. I don't want a 7-Up. Give me the dark colored caramel sodas. I'll take that. So, but I get the weight gain from it, but whatever. Number 3, reduce intake of harmful fats. I don't know a harmful fat. I've never met one, honestly. Fats consumed should be less than 30% of your total energy intake. This will help prevent unhealthy weight gain. There are different types of fats, but unsaturated fats are preferable over saturated fats and trans fats. WHO recommends reducing saturated fats to less than 10% of total energy intake, reducing trans fat to less than 1% of total energy intake, and replacing both saturated and trans fats to unsaturated fats. The preferable unsaturated fats are found in fish, avocado, nuts, sunflower, soybean, canola, and olive oils. Saturated fats are found in fatty meats, your butter, palm and coconut oil, cream, cheese, ghee, and lard. The trans fats are found in baked and fried foods and prepackaged snacks and foods such as frozen pizza, cookies, biscuits, and cooking oils and spreads. I'm sorry, but this sounds all, this describes a Southern diet. If you're from the South, it's the biscuits, it's the grits with butter and the salt and the sugar. I'm just saying, I'm a Southern. It sounds like what we eat all the time. Anyway, number 4, avoid harmful use of alcohol. There is no safe level for drinking alcohol. Consuming alcohol can lead to health problems such as mental and behavioral disorders, including alcohol dependence, major NCDs such as liver cirrhosis, some cancers, and heart diseases, as well as injuries resulting from violence and road clashes and collisions. I've never heard of that. Alcohol leading to mental and behavioral disorders. I guess over time, drinking too much. I've never heard of it. That's interesting. Number 5, don't smoke. Smoking tobacco causes NCDs such as lung disease, heart disease, and stroke. Tobacco kills not only the direct smokers, but even non-smokers through secondhand exposure. Currently, there are 15.9 million Filipino adults who smoke tobacco, but 7 in 10 smokers are interested or plan to quit. If you are currently a smoker, it's not too late to quit. Once you do, you will experience immediate and long-term health benefits. If you are not a smoker, that's great. Do not start smoking and fight for your right to breathe tobacco smoke-free air. Number 6, be active. Physical activity is defined as any bodily movement produced by skeletal muscles that requires energy expenditure. This includes exercise and activities undertaken while working, playing, carrying out household chores, traveling, and engaging in recreational pursuits. The amount of physical activity you need depends on your age group, but adults aged 18 to 64 years old should do at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity physical activity throughout the week. Increase moderate intensity physical activity to 300 minutes per week for additional health benefits. That is a big jump. 18 to 64 and 150 minutes a week. I can take the 150, but 18 to 64, that's a big gap. That's a big gap. Anyway, number 7, check your blood pressure regularly. Hypertension or high blood pressure is called a silent killer. This is because many people who have hypertension may not be aware of the problem, as it may not have any symptoms. If left uncontrolled, hypertension can lead to heart, brain, kidney, and other diseases. Have your blood pressure checked regularly by a health worker so you know your numbers. If your blood pressure is high, get the advice of a health worker. This is vital in the prevention and control of hypertension. Get tested. Getting yourself tested is an important step in knowing your health status, especially when it comes to HIV, hepatitis B, sexually transmitted infections or STIs, and tuberculosis. Left untreated, these diseases can lead to serious complications and even death. Knowing your status means you know how to either continue preventing these diseases, or if you find out that you're positive, get the treatment that you need. Go to a public or private health facility where you are comfortable and have yourself tested. Number 9, get vaccinated. Vaccination is one of the most effective ways to prevent diseases. Vaccines work with your body's natural defenses to build protection against diseases like cervical cancer, cholera, diphtheria, hepatitis B, influenza, measles, mumps, pneumonia, polio, rabies, rubella, tetanus, typhoid, and yellow fever. In the Philippines, free vaccines are provided to children 1 year old and below as part of the Department of Health's routine immunization program. If you are an adolescent or an adult, You may ask your physician if to check your immunization status or if you want to have yourself vaccinated. I believe you can do the same going to a health clinic. I don't know the age, but I believe you can go to the health clinic anywhere in your city. Number 10, practice safe sex. Looking after your sexual health is important for your overall health and well-being. Practice safe sex to prevent HIV and other sexually transmitted infections like gonorrhea and syphilis. There are available prevention measures such as pre-exposure prophylaxis that will protect you from HIV and condoms that will protect you from HIV and other STIs. We're going to take a quick break. You're listening to Next News on Next 100 and Next 105.
Check it out, check it out.
ATL's Next 100.
Jumping in
Next
like that.
100.
Right.
What's poppin', family? It's your homegirl, Taryn Simone. Latoria G.
And Miss Caprice.
We're here to tell you about our hot new show, Next Now, Weekend Edition.
With segments like Giving You the Business and Whoop Child.
Tune in every Saturday and Sundays, 10 to 12 on Atlanta's Next 100. Right here on IBNX Radio Network. Our community, our station.
Powered by IBNXRadioNetwork.com.
Station I listen to 24/7.
ATL's Next 100. Next 100.
Don't get it twisted.
And welcome back. You are listening to Next News on Next 100 and Next 105. I am Enrika, your host for the rest of the hour. As I was going through the top 20 things to do to keep yourself healthy, number 11 on the list, cover your mouth when coughing or sneezing. Diseases such as influenza, pneumonia, and tuberculosis are transmitted through the air. When an infected person coughs or sneezes, infectious agents may be passed on to others through airborne droplets. When you feel a cough or sneeze coming on, make sure you have covered your mouth with a face mask or a tissue, then dispose of it carefully. If you do not have a tissue close by, when you cough or sneeze, cover your mouth as much as possible with the crook of your elbow, which is like that, which is very important now because this is flu season and we are in the middle of a pandemic. So you should be covering your mouth. And if I could just say this, please don't sneeze in your mask and keep the mask on. If you don't sneeze in your mask, change the mask. I'll just say that's a little disgusting. Number 12, prevent mosquito bites. Mosquitoes are one of the deadliest animals in the world. Diseases like dengue and malaria and lymphatic filariasis are transmitted by mosquitoes and continue to affect millions. You can take simple measures to protect yourself and your loved ones against mosquito-borne diseases. If you are traveling to an area with known mosquito-borne diseases, consult a physician for a vaccine to prevent diseases such as Japanese encephalitis and yellow fever, or if you need to take anti-malarial medicines, wear light-colored clothing, long-sleeve shirts and pants, and use insect repellent. At home, use window or door screens, use bed nets, and clean your surroundings weekly to destroy mosquito breeding sites. Number 13, how about this? It says follow traffic laws. Not in Atlanta, I'm just kidding. Road crashes claim over 1 million lives in the world and are Road crashes claim over 1 million lives around the world and millions more are injured. Road traffic injuries are preventable through a variety of measures implemented by the government, such as strong legislation and enforcement, safer infrastructure and vehicle standards, and improved post-crash care. You yourself can prevent road crashes by ensuring that you follow traffic laws, such as using your seat belts for adults and child restraint for children. Wearing a helmet when riding a motorcycle or bicycle, not drinking and driving, and not using your mobile phone or MacBook while driving. Number 14, drink only safe water. Drinking unsafe water can lead to waterborne diseases such as cholera, diphtheria, hepatitis A, typhoid, and polio. Globally, at least 2 billion people use a drinking water source contaminated with feces. Check your water concessionaire and water refilling station to ensure that the water you're drinking is safe. In a setting where you are unsafe of your water source, boil your water for at least a minute. This will destroy harmful organisms in the water. Let it cool naturally before drinking. 15. Breastfed babies from 0 to 2 years old and beyond. Breastfeeding is the best way to provide the ideal food for newborns and infants. The WHO recommends that mothers initiate breastfeeding within 1 hour of birth. Breastfeeding for the first 6 months is crucial for a baby to grow up healthy. It is recommended that breastfeeding is continued for up to 2 years and beyond. Aside from being beneficial to babies, breastfeeding is also good for the mother as it reduces the risk of breast and ovarian cancer, type 2 diabetes, and postpartum depression. Now that's interesting. I did not know that. It prevents ovarian and type 2 diabetes. That's what's up. But I don't know about feeding a baby that's 2 years old. They have teeth then. I don't know about that. Anyway, number 16, talk to someone you trust if you're feeling down. Depression is a common illness worldwide with over 260 million people affected. Depression can manifest in different ways, but it might make you feel hopeless or worthless, or you might think about negative and disturbing thoughts a lot, or have an overwhelming sense of pain. If you're going through this, remember that you are not alone. Talk to someone you trust, such as a family member, a friend, a colleague, or mental health professional about how you feel. If you feel that you are in danger of harming yourself, contact the National Center for Mental Health hotline. You can look up for a number in your area. But please reach out to somebody if you're feeling depressed. Number 17, take antibiotics only as prescribed. Antibiotic resistance is one of the biggest public health threats in our generation. When antibiotics lose their power, bacterial infections become harder to treat, leading to higher medical costs, prolonged hospital stays, and increased mortality. Antibiotics are losing their power because of misuse and overuse in humans and animals. Make sure you only take antibiotics if prescribed by a qualified health professional. And once prescribed, complete the treatment days as instructed. Never share antibiotics. Well, you shouldn't share medicines anyway. Number 18, clean your hands properly. Now this should have been number 2 or number 1. Hand hygiene is critical not only for health workers, but for everyone. Clean hands can prevent the spread of infectious illnesses. You should hand wash using soap and water when your hands are visibly soiled, or hand rub using an alcohol-based product. 19, prepare your food correctly. And all of these are suggestions from the World Health Organization. Unsafe food containing harmful bacteria, viruses, parasites, or chemical substances causes more than 200 diseases, ranging from diarrhea to cancers. When buying food at the market or store, check the labels for the actual produce to ensure it is safe to eat. If you are preparing food, make sure you follow the 5 keys to safer food. Keep clean, separate raw and cooked, cook thoroughly, keep food at safe temperatures, and use safe water and raw materials. Number 20, have regular checkups. Regular checkups can help find health problems before they start. Health professionals can help find and diagnose health issues early, when your chances for treatment and cure are better. Go to your nearest health facility to check out the health services, screenings, and treatment that are accessible to you. And in this day of the pandemic that we're in, it is very important that you do get your checkup. Very, very important. Mammograms and whatever. So make sure you're doing that. So that was the top 20 things to keep yourself safe as by the World Health Organization. And I got some sports news for you. If I can get to it. Okay. In the NFL, Monday night football brought a first for a quarterback. Monday night football, the 3-5 Minnesota Vikings visited the 5-4 Chicago Bears. Kirk Cousins and the Vikings got the win by a score of 19-13, making Cousins' first victory in Monday Night Football. Before Monday's game, Cousins was 0 for 9 on Monday night and 0 for 3 against Chicago. Cousins threw for 292 yards with two TDs and 1 interception. Dalvin Cook carried the ball 30 times for 96 yards. Thursday night football was actually a pretty good game. It was a division rival game in the NFC West. The Seattle Seahawks beat the Arizona Cardinals 28-21. Mr. Russell Wilson scrambled all over the place, but that was the plan as it allowed him to see and throw and connect downfield. He threw for 2 TDs. Sunday, folks. The Atlanta Falcons will be in New Orleans to take on the Saints. The Saints are atop of the NFC South Division. Who cares? And the Falcons sit at 3rd, but we're going to move up. However, the rivalry is real between the two clubs. Drew Brees is out, and Taysom Hill will get the ball. Breeze has cracked ribs and a punctured lung. And it is hate week, and they started Monday, let me tell you. So the hate for New Orleans is real, so we're going to get this W. Thank you, Falcons. Sunday night game is Chiefs at Raiders at 8:20, and Monday night is Rams at Buccaneers at 8:15. I'm curious about that game. That might be a good game. We're going to see what the old man do, Mr. handsome man himself. What is his name? What's his name? Tom Brady. That's it. Thank you, Johnny. A second chance at the NFL. DeAndre Baker was a first-round draft pick in the 2019 NFL Draft for the New York Giants. He was 30th overall. The cornerback played in 15 games for the Giants before his September release from the team. Baker was arrested on 4 counts of armed robbery with a firearm. If he was convicted, he would have faced 10 years in prison. Monday, the district attorney in Florida dropped the charges against Baker and arrested 3 of the alleged victims. The alleged victims claimed that Baker and Quentin Dunbar of the Seattle Seahawks robbed them at a house party in May. Charges against Dunbar were dropped due to insufficient evidence. The alleged victims were paid to alter their testimony, and they have been charged with extortion. The NFL's investigation is ongoing, so hopefully the UGA standout will get a chance at the NFL. My last hearing is that he had a interview with Kansas City, so we'll see. It would be nice if he could play in Atlanta, but Atlanta, the Falcons, they kind of steer away from any type of drama, so he more likely would never end up in Atlanta, but I do hope he gets another chance. He could go to the Texans or Jets because they are struggling, let me tell you. So anyway, we're going to take a quick break. You're listening to Next News on Next 100 and Next 105.
Atlanta's home for hip hop and R&B. ATL's Next 100.
All right, guys, guess what? The hour is up, and I have enjoyed being with you, and I hope you've enjoyed me being with you. So thank you to Johnny who pushed the buttons, and I thank you so much for listening. I am Enrika Hardeman for Next News on Next 100 and Next 105 on the IBNX Radio Network. Goodbye. See ya.